going to check the stream and make sure that it is actually streaming the stream where it says it's streaming. And I got to refresh the page because it didn't start. And blah, 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 blah. And we have audio. Excellent. And Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo!
Hey, Luke!
Hey, we have Josh with us today.
We have Josh, and I just forgot his last name already, Helfinsiegel. Hey, Josh.
Fun guys. Good, glad to be here.
Welcome to episode 828 of the Fun and Music Podcast for Thursday, April 30th, 2026. Title of this week's episode is Slim Cherry, and your job is to work that into our conversation somehow, because that's a stupid thing I came up with that we do now. So, all right, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Working. I got through working the 9 days in a row I needed to work in order to get the day off I needed to be at the event for Barry, for Dr. Demento. And, you know, it sucked, but I got through it. Basically, the only other thing I have to report is that I posted the latest episode of my podcast. Why is it making that noise? I'll talk about that during funny
news?
music news and
Okay.
stuff. So, but yeah, that's about it. So, what have you been up to?
Well, I got a little bit of dirt on the Dr. Demento party that we were at that I thought I'd share with you. Remember how we saw that Damascus showed up for a brief period of time?
Yes.
Apparently, while he was there, he returned a mic stand to Sulu that he borrowed 48 years ago.
Huh.
Wow.
So
Did they even have on stage back then?
I don't know. Sulu told me the story. It had, but I don't remember where I think it was something at her house, and he borrowed the mic stand for something, and he's just had it this whole time. So he just brought it back at the party because that's what you do. So the big news in my world is I went to RavenCon last weekend, which was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with my friend Mer Lafferty, who is the author guest of honor. It was kind of funny because she wasn't originally the author guest of honor, and like a month ago I just texted her. I was like, "Hey, you should just go to RavenCon because I'm going to be there," and she was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then like a week and a half ago, she texts me and she's like, "Hey, I might actually be going to RavenCon after all," because apparently their previous guest of honor had to back out at the last minute, and they reached out to her coincidentally. So got to hang out with her, so that was fun. They had me do a concert, and they also asked me to do 2 songs during opening ceremonies. So opening ceremonies came, and I had the audio on my phone. And my phone, I have an iPhone with the USB-C jack, and I was like, all right, we'll just plug this into the sound system, and away we go. And unfortunately, I never tested it, so we couldn't get it to work. I have the adapter that goes from USB-C to headphone jack, and then I figured headphone jack right into the sound system. Could not get it to work no matter what we did. So what we ended up doing was just playing the audio on my phone and miking it, which sounded terrible. You could barely hear it. I could barely hear it while I was trying to perform with it. It was not good, but I got through it. People seemed to be okay with it, but it was like, oh God, it was one of those things. Thankfully my concert went better. There were no technical problems with my concert. Not much of an audience, but there was no technical problems at least. But the big reason I went to RavenCon besides performing was I think I've talked about it on the show in the past. I'm working on a new short film that's a mockumentary. And because I interviewed Insane Ian and Ross Childs while I was at MarsCon for it. Well, at RavenCon, I got to interview Dr. Sarcophagi. So I finally got to meet him and his partner, and we met up in Mer's her hotel room, because the con gave her like the presidential suite. So she had this nice big area that we could film in. And we just set up, and he was fully memorized, and he rattled off his thing. It was great. So got some good footage out of the weekend. So now I need to figure out, what else I need to shoot for this mockumentary, and then maybe we can be done. So that's about it for me. So Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. First time on here. It's cool to find this space in the internet.
So what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I mean, I'm a dad, so it's like I got a 6 and an 8-year-old, so that takes up a lot of time.
Yes, it does. I've been there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then my day job is boring, so that also takes up the rest of the time, but it pays for doing the fun stuff, like the music and things. So, you tolerate that in order to do the fun stuff, right?
As best you can. Yep.
Yeah, but nothing that fun. I mean, I'm a musician, a climber, and video games, so there's a good interlap of that stuff.
A climber,
rock climbing.
Rock climbing, yeah. Do you do just the rock climbing, like building like fake rock handle things, or do you actually go out on mountains?
So we do a little bit of both. Mostly it's indoor at gyms, but we just over spring break went with another family to Puerto Rico to do some outdoor climbing, which was a lot of fun. It's a lot harder than
I'm sure,
climbing.
Because I was actually just the other day, I was thinking I wonder if there's any rock climbing facilities near us, because I want to do something, that's a little more athletic than sitting on the couch all day. And I used to enjoy climbing trees when I was a kid. I used to climb all over everything I could find. So I was like, I'd probably enjoy that type of rock climbing. I just never tried it. And of course, I'm horribly out of shape, so I need to find something easy to start with. But.
Well, they've got all sort of levels to start with. And I mean, bouldering, you don't even need to go with anybody. All you need is the shoes. And it's basically like solving puzzles on the wall. I mean, I think a lot of people that like games will like rock climbing as exercise. So it's definitely worth a shot. And if you live in any major city, there's gyms everywhere. And they don't even pay me to say this.
Yeah, I don't. I live in the boonies in northern New Jersey. I'm about an hour from any major city. So, there is a YMCA right up the street, but I don't think they have rock climbing facilities. But there might be another one somewhere nearby that does.
Yeah, or just get a buddy who has a barn who's converted into a climbing facility.
There we go. Well, what I was thinking, we have in our living room upstairs is a big balcony ceiling, because instead of putting another bedroom up there, they just opened up the ceiling, so we have this huge balcony. And I was like, we could just put things all over the wall, and I could just climb all over the the room up there. I don't think my wife would like that. My kids would probably love it, but I don't think the wife would like that.
Yeah, get some pads down, and make sure you put that into your divorce papers on the reasons why that happened. And
right. Yes.
Yeah. And the only other thing I can think of is that this past weekend, you guys heard of shrinkflation, right? Everything's just getting smaller.
There's 7 fewer Doritos in a bag now.
Yeah. So my cocktail actually came with a slim cherry in it, and I was just like, they're even going after the cherries now.
They are. Nice.
That's all I got.
So you posted a song.
I did.
Give us a quick intro. We will give it a listen.
Yeah. So I'm in a couple of different sort of communities around songs and writing songs, but this is again the first time I found the Funny Music Project. But like FuMP, February album writing month, you guys might have heard of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done
Spin
that
Tunes
once.
is a spin-off of Song Fight, but you might have heard of Song Fight. So this was a Song Fight challenge to write to the title, The Thrill of Getting Away with Something. And so I decided, first idea, best idea a lot of the time, that I was going to go with just the perspective of a minor villain and getting away with lots of these sort of little injustices they're still kind of evil, but they're not like that evil. I'm in the dad joke stage of life. Yeah, just a little evil. Like Pinky evil. Along that lines, and I just had a lot of fun with it. And then the bass line is actually I had to look this up. It's the Misterioso Pizzicato, which is like that villain music you hear on like Tom and Jerry cartoons and all the Looney Tunes stuff. Yeah. And I was like, what if I took that and just did like a dirty bass line with that? I think it would sound pretty cool. And so then that sort of worked its way all the way through the song that way.
Cool. So here is The Thrill of Getting Away with Something by Siebass.
Boots, catch, boots, boot, catch, 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 boots, catch. I take the HOV lane when I'm driving all alone. I leave old milk in your fridge and send spam calls to your personal telephone. I use the dining-only bathroom, but never order any food. I'll curse this damn humidity after spitting in your shoes. It's the thrill of getting away with something. Shivers tingle from my head down to my toes. Don't you know the taste you can't ever unknow? It's the thrill. Last of the toilet paper, but I never put on a new roll. I can't keep a single crown, cause I'm such a giant troll. Well, that's my business. I always take a handful when the sign says please take just one. I guess I could follow rules, but then how would I have any fun? I shred artisanal cheese in your vegan casserole. I wash your delicates on the normal cycle. Oh, there's darkness deep inside my soul, but if I keep quiet, you'll never know. It's the thrill.
Very nice. So, since this is your first time on the show, give us the whole rundown. Who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that.
Sure, yeah. So, I mostly write a lot of things that aren't comedy songs, but every once in a while I can do maybe like 1 or 2 out of 10 where I'm just like, this is silly and stupid, let's do that. But, I'm from the DC area. I play in a band called the Vico Cycle, and we play, 70% covers and, 30% originals, just fun stuff. And I've been making music pretty much since 2017. And I've been making listenable music since maybe 2022,
I know that feeling,
Yeah. The tools have gotten better, and I've gotten better to the place where, you can... It takes a while to get to the level where you can get what you hear in your head and actually get that out in the DAW.
Yeah.
But, I'm one of those onesie guys that just does all the stuff, and so I just do the bass, the guitar...
Oh, yet another one-man comedy band where there's tons of those.
There's tons of those? Okay.
Tons of those. It's like a thing. Where it's like, I think it's because comedy musicians can't find other people willing to work with them. So it's like,
right.
All right, I guess I'm a band now. And
that's right. Yeah, nobody else wants to write a song about buckling up for safety. So, that's...
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah. Whatever your weird thing is. I got a lot of, like, silly things that I've done. Like, I wrote a song called I Taught My Dog to Speak. Just some funny stuff, but it's like I don't think I could like pitch that to the band and be like, all right guys, so the idea now. It's like, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to have all 4 people be that guy from the comedy band that all are like, all right, I will tolerate 3 other people's weird sense of humor as long as I get my quarter of this band input.
Yeah, we were joking with Shoebox of Worm Quartet. That's another one-man band. About because he's in another band with actual other people called Dead Rat Disco, which is just a straightforward punk band, and he writes songs, and he's like sometimes he's not sure whether it's a Worm Quartet song or whether it's a Dead Rat Disco song, so like he'll pitch it to Dead Rat Disco, and if they reject it, it becomes a Worm Quartet song. So I was like, all right, so I can't wait for your next album's songs my other band rejected. Would be the title of the album.
That's basically how it goes. If I get something really good, sometimes I'll be like, all right, we can work on this with the band, or something that's got a decent emotional core to it, as opposed to just like silliness. But when I was like, okay, this is way too dumb for the band. All right, let's work this on my own stuff.
We want the dumb stuff here at the FuMP, so that's exactly why we opened it up to submissions. It was one of the things we talked about was like when we started doing this was like there are people out there who don't do comedy full time, but once in a while they'll do a silly song, and we're like, we want them. So that's so you are a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and I subscribe to the. I should say I try to emulate the Lonely Island style of where I really want good music first, and then I can have funny stuff on top of it. But it's like sometimes it goes the other way if you get a really good joke, But I try to get good music first. I don't always succeed. But yeah, I came out of FuMP, February album writing month, and I actually am like loose acquaintance with Insane Ian through a good friend of mine in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Back when he used to live in this area, but I don't personally know him. But I actually messaged him on FuMP and was like, hey, you do the FuMP stuff, right? Should I submit to them? And he was like, it's a cool community. You should send something in. I was like, all right, cool. I'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know him well enough to send him a message on an internet board.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm in the song fight. Spin Tunes is actually my favorite of all those. It's like an elimination tournament where you have like basically 10 days. They go like a Saturday, like they give you 2 weekends. So they give you Saturday, Sunday, the whole week, and Saturday, Sunday.
Cool.
To write a song to a challenge. But their challenges are more than like Song Fight, where Song Fight's just the title, you write to that. Spin Tunes, it'll be like, use the second minor dominant. And I had to go look up what that was because I am not classically trained and I don't know music theory. But I got a cool song out of it. So, I just like to write what I want to write. And sometimes that's comedy and sometimes that's sad songs and sometimes it's happy songs. So,
Was this a Spin Tune song or was this a FuMP song?
This one was actually Song Fight. So
okay.
This was Song Fight. So, but they're all over. I mean, I like all that stuff. It's more... Yeah. I find it's easier for me to write when it's like, okay, here's a challenge. It's like, oh, you're challenging me to do this thing. I'll do that thing. Or if they need more submissions, because I think it's good that Song Fight exists. So,
yeah, sometimes the challenges can be fun. Like I do this thing where I ask my fans for ridiculous topics for rap songs, and sometimes people will send me like the most ridiculous things, and I'm like, that's a challenge. I might need to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like where they challenged Eagle Eye Cherry to lose weight, and now they're Slim Cherry. So I don't know how many times we got to go for that, but
You're catching me off guard. I got to remember that the button's there. So
yeah. So what got you guys to start? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, is this a typical sounding song for Siebass?
I'd say typical sounding, yeah. Although I would say this was one of my better ones in terms of what I like. Like, I like a gritty bass line, and I feel like the vocals came together. I had a really dirty wah guitar and the, sort of second outro bit, which I don't always get. I had some lyrics that I really liked, like I shred artisanal cheese in your vegan casserole.
Yeah, I like that one myself.
Yeah. That's like a really minor evil thing.
Yeah.
And I actually got in trouble for putting my wife's delicates on the normal cycle once, so I was like, oh, I'm going to work that into a song. That's something that somebody did on purpose. But yeah, I would say, for me, it was like in a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, it was a better one. But in terms of production, I try to keep things around that level. But that doesn't mean that the song is is that good. So I liked this one enough to be like, I'll send that one in. Maybe they'll like it there too.
Cool. So what about I don't know if you want to call it scatting or beatboxing you got going on there? Is that normal or is that something you just did for this song?
I thought it would be silly, and I went with the traditional boots and cats method. So I was just like, all right, we'll do some boots and cats.
Boots and cats, yep.
Cats. Yeah, but every once in a while, it's like, I basically kind of have ADD when it comes to songwriting, where I don't like to be in any one thing. So it's like I've done some songs a cappella, and I've done some beatboxing stuff. I'll do raps. Raps can be nice because it can be faster. You don't have to sing on key, and sometimes you can just write and come up with a cool backbeat. But it can be fun to come up with a cool guitar solo or
the thing that's a blessing and a curse when it comes to doing rap is that you need to write about 4 times as many lyrics.
Yeah.
So
you can't just rap slow. I like to rap. I do it all the time, but because I'm white, my words don't match. It's an old one, but it's still a good one. But yeah. You do need more lyrics. I mean, I did, with my buddy, we did a seasons rap battle back in 2018 or 2019, where just the seasons were ripping on each other. But I'm generally more nice than diss tracks, so it doesn't lend itself to that kind of rap.
I think I noticed that phenomenon when I was in high school, because I was doing parodies of, rap songs, and they would typically have a 16-line verse, and sometimes there'd be 4 or 5 verses in a song. Sometimes they do a 24-line verse. It's not unusual for a rap song to break 100, lines. And I was listening to some pop song, and I pulled out the lyrics, and there were 8 lyrics. There was the chorus was 2 lines, and then there was one verse that had 4 short lines in it, and then there was the chorus again, and it just repeated in different orders. And I'm like, I could parody this 5 times over, it drove me nuts. It was me making my life more difficult than it has to be.
Justin Bieber's songs with lyrics like, baby, 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 oh, baby, 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 oh, baby, 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 oh.
The funny thing is, if you look up the publishing for that song, there's 13 people credited as songwriters.
One of them was the baby. It's remarkable.
Probably, yeah. That guy's I wrote that 4th baby on the 2nd line. That was mine. I get royalties for that.
Yeah, it was just baby, baby, oh before that. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did the FuMP come to be? I am really curious, because again, I only found it pretty recently.
We basically... Do you know who Jonathan Colton is?
Oh, yeah. He's comedy royalty.
Yeah.
Comedy
back in 2006, he did a thing called Thing a Week, where he wrote a song, published it every week as Creative Commons, gave it away for free, encourages fans to make, album art and music videos and stuff. And a colleague of ours, just came up with the idea that hey, if a bunch of us got together and did that with comedy music, we could pool our resources, maybe put out 2 songs a week. And that's kind of where it came from. We launched in January of 2007. So at the end of this year, it'll be 20 years that we've been doing this.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Me and Devo and Shoebox were like 3 of the original core members, and later on, we had Chris Metzalesta Power Salad joined us, and Insane Ian, and Carrie Dalby was our first female member of the FuMP.
Yep.
So yeah, it just kept building and building and building over all the years.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I just always think it's interesting how these communities form around these, needs of the people. It's like, nobody's like, I mean, I can speak only for my music, but nobody's clamoring to come find my music. It's like
nobody's clamoring to come find mine either. But
I need to do it. I don't know why I need to do it. I feel compelled, to do these things.
The thing we noticed about comedy music is that it's very siloed. Like if you go to any city, there are comedy acts there, but like, there's no networking of any kind. There's no, like years ago, Jessica Delfino put on the New York Funny Songs Fest, and she had probably 150 musical comedians. Now, it's New York City and the surrounding area, so there's a lot of people there. But, 150 musical comedians performing throughout the week, and I knew 3 of them. And I was like, where did all these other people come from? And it just seemed like we need like a central repository for comedy music. Now that the Dr. Demento show's gone, we need something, Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in Chicago when I lived out near there, someone announced like, oh, big comedy music festival, and there was like 50 acts, and I'm pretty sure I hadn't heard of any of them. I think the one common thread between those two, I think Rob Paravonian was at both of those things that we were.
Yes. Yeah, Rob was definitely at the New York Funny Songs Fest.
And Kelly Dwyer, I think, was the other one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think that was where I met Kelly the first time. But yeah, so here we are. We're doing our thing. You're gonna get royalties, so you can supersize your fries next time you go to McDonald's. So
that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
exactly, the big fry.
The big fry. So do you play out live?
I have not played any of my own stuff, really. I mean, other than like back in 2017, I used to run an open mic, and there again, similar to other things, I would challenge myself to write a new song a month, so that anybody coming to the open mic would always hear at least one new crappy song every month. But that was a long time ago, and then COVID happened, and it didn't really survive the streaming open mic. That's where we learned where that button for original audio for musicians was in Zoom, thanks to that.
Yeah, that's important when you're doing that. Yep.
Yeah, but not usually, just like we'll do some concerts in the neighborhood from people's porches, and I'll do like some open mic type stuff with that. But with the band we'll play out, but it's like bars.
That's right. You said you're in a cover band.
Yeah,
mostly cover.
Mostly covers, some originals. We have originals that sound like enough covers that people don't bother us. So. And we're at the dad band stage, so we're like, oh, could we please play from 4 to 7? That would be great. I would love to be done by 8 or 7 to 10 even. 7 to 10 is fine. It's those like, because when I came up in this band, we were, in our early 20s, and we were out at the bars playing from like 9 to midnight or 10 to 1 or 2 or 3, and like you get home, and like when you're in your 20s, it's not a problem getting home at 3 a.m. But I'm in my 40s now, and it sucks. It's hard. I used to think it was all the booze out at the bars and stuff, but I haven't been drinking at shows in a while, and it's not the booze; it's just getting old.
Yeah,
man.
It's just getting old.
It's just getting old. Yeah.
Have you used your kids in any of your comedy songs yet?
I did. So for one, actually, there's 2 songs. There's 2 songs I have, and it's like I guess I can't get too famous for it, or if I do, I have to pay for their college with it. But I did a song called "Bowser and Kirby Get Married." And it's all about one of the greatest mysteries I think in the Mario universe, and if you go see Mario Galaxy, still unresolved, is how does Bowser have all of these kids? How does Bowser have all of these kids? Where is Mama Bowser in all of this? And that question was not answered in that movie, even though his son appears. And so my younger son was all about listing out all of the Bowser Koopalings, Larry, Morton, Wendy, all that other stuff, Iggy, Roy, Levy. So I have like an audio clip from my cell phone of him going through all that, and then I turned it into this like punk song with, Where's Mama Bowser? We don't know. And then my older son was just like, oh, let's get Kirby in there too. And I was like, sure, let's do it. So, so at the end they get married as a classic fan fiction,
Nice. Yeah, I made extensive use of my kids when they were young.
What was the highlight?
Probably Cupcakes. One of the
that was a good one.
One of the ridiculous rap suggestions. Carrie Dalby, our first female FuMP artist. When I asked for suggestions for ridiculous rap songs, she just said "Cupcakes," all capital letters, ! And I was like, sure. So
Done.
Yeah, so I got my kids to shout "Cupcakes, cupcakes!" Oh my God, Mom's making cupcakes! It was great.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, there's a video for it up on YouTube. I think it's up on YouTube. I know I perform with it, but yeah, it's up on YouTube because it was part of that initial batch that I did. And my kids were little at the time, so they were in it.
Yes, nice. Yeah, the only other thing is I did a song about a time machine that's broken and it only goes to the past, but it's not really quite a comedy song, but I had my kids up there like singing it with me, and they really enjoyed it.
Cool.
So it's got a couple jokes in it, where the reason the time machine's broken is because the cat peed on the console, but we're not going to talk about that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I don't have any kids of my own, but I borrowed one of Devo's kids for a song I did called "Fake Adult." And I had him, and then I also borrowed Shoebox's son was in it as well, so it was.
Yeah, and what was remarkable about that song was Shoebox's kid has, I think he might have perfect pitch. Like, he's a really good singer. My kid was taking voice lessons at the time, and he was a good singer. And the two of them, like, I recorded Connor here, and Shoebox recorded Steve up in Rochester, totally separate. To the same backing track, but stuff. You put the two of them together, and they were perfect. Like they were like in key with each other, and so it was amazing.
Yeah, I definitely make liberal use of flex pitch and various other tools in order to make.
I'm a rapper.
I
don't deal with pitch and keys and things like that.
No, that stuff is nobody.
I actually do, but I joke about it.
You have to, even in rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then years later, I. Performing it live on stage, Carrie Dalby's daughter would join me on a couple occasions to be a little kid running around with the microphone singing the chorus part, so that I could have a little kid there. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's good if you can get them involved. I mean, my kids like it. They come to the shows and stuff, which is part of why we don't swear too much in our shows as well. But it's like, especially if we're playing like breweries. But usually they'll be like, "Oh, we're playing songs like that's cool. We're going to the playground." I was like, "That's fine."
Yeah, my kids are too cool for that stuff now. They don't care about my music anymore. So
yeah, mine are still young enough where they pretend. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Enjoy it while it lasts. So.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Anything to plug? At some point I'm going to get off my butt and write the album of songs that I've written over the last 10 years. I'm planning to do a double album, one for my comedy stuff and one for my serious stuff, but I've been planning to do that for a year. I keep trying to set myself arbitrary goals, but it's like I have not managed to get it together. I mean, do you guys have any tricks for how you manage to self-motivate on music that maybe nobody else cares about? Because it's really hard.
I've been working on my new album for 4 years now. Maybe it'll come out this year. I hope it will. We'll see.
Yeah, so it's that level of plug.
Yeah.
Getting involved with a big convention, and then, that convention's date is the release date of your album, so you have to get it done by then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
And if you don't know a big convention, you can start your own, right, Devo?
You can, yes. I don't recommend it. Not at all. I don't recommend it. But
sounds like personal experience.
Yeah. FuMPFest was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work and a lot of headaches.
But that's when your album's coming out, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm still trying to bring back FuMPFest. I'm just running into issues. But, and time, don't have a lot of time to work on things these days.
Sure. But I mean, if you guys are in the D.C., if anybody's in the D.C. area, we got a show at a brewery in Manassas on the 9th. We're going to play Porch Fest on the 30th. And you can look us up at the Vico Cycle, VICO. Another weird name. cycle. But yeah, we play around the DC area. We're here,
Cool.
but
All right.
nothing else.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to move on to news and the second song, and I have a pre-recorded interview with the Consortium of Genius. Are you going to stick around, or are you taking off?
I mean, what is your guys' preference? Do you guys do better with 3 people banter, 2 people banter? Does it matter at all?
It doesn't matter at all.
All right, I'll stick around to listen.
Okay.
And see if I can sneak in at least one more Slim Cherry reference in before I go.
Well, that counts.
Oh, it counts? I thought it was like opposite day. You can't talk about it.
No, nothing like that.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
Give to the homeless and love all my neighbors. Don't blow my paychecks at 31 flavors. Pay down my credit cards, firm up my buns. These are a few of my resolutions.
There's a Demogorgon loose in town, and he's a flower-headed jerk. There's a hero in this town, and they call him Chief. He's gonna solve all these mysteries. His right hook alone will leave you missing teeth. So you don't mess around with Jim.
I never got the chance to start a Ponzi scheme, my friend, or to party with them rowdy Taliban.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Mr. Jefferson, this is Dr. Reeves again. The first one.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, I mentioned last week was my 40th anniversary of the day I decided to start doing music. I am now accepting pre-orders for my virtual box set little figurine thing guy. It's going to retail for $79.99. Thank you to the people who filled out that questionnaire I had last month. And you can pick it up, your pre-order, at devospice.bandcamp.com. And tomorrow, Friday, May 1st, is Bandcamp Friday. So if you place the order tomorrow, I will get more of the money. I am going to be putting it up on the FuMP too as well. I just haven't had a chance to yet. So hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow. The FuMP poll is still up. If you are a subscriber or someone who regularly purchases the compilation albums, please take a moment to give us some feedback. It's just 4 quick questions, mostly about the bonus content on the albums. And just a couple people have asked. We are not considering getting rid of the bonus content, but that's why we're asking. Because if everybody was like, I don't watch the bonus content, then why are we doing it? But you can help us out by going to tiny.cc/FuMP survey and answering a couple quick questions. As I mentioned, tomorrow, May 1st, is Bandcamp Friday. It's a great day to support your local funny musician, since Bandcamp waives their fees. And this Monday, May 4th, on the Virtual Comedy Show with Steve Goody and Brad Tassel, the musical guest is going to be Tom T-Bone Stankus.
Oh, wow.
Yep, legendary artist from the Dr. Demento show. He will be on the show. That's virtualcomedyshow.com, Monday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and whatever other heathen time zones. You do the math. All right, and the FuMP newsletter went out today. This is separate from the April Fool's newsletter. This is the real newsletter. This has news stories about the Smogberry Pie video that Tony Goldmark released, Steve Goody's new album, Emotional Support Hamster, my 40th anniversary pre-orders, and more. You can read it online at tiny.cc/FuMP0426 if you're not a subscriber who gets it directly via email. All right. You guys got anything before tour dates?
I do. So, if you were at MarsCon, you saw me perform on stage my song "Who Let the Frog Out" from the year 2002 about the Muppets and Jim Henson. Well, the video that accompanied that I've now released that on YouTube. It was put together by Zach Hurst, and he did an amazing job with it. So go to my YouTube page and check out the video for "Who Let the Frog Out." And additionally, I had Zach come to my place and be a guest on my podcast, Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff podcast. And since he did the Muppet Show video, or the Muppet song video, He and I basically spent the whole time talking about the Muppets, and in particular reviewing the Muppet Show 2026 episode with special guest star Sabrina Carpenter, which was produced by Seth Rogen. So yeah, it's a really fun episode. And during the Comedy Music Time segment, I played a bunch of obscure Muppet songs from the Muppet Show and Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock. And I have to pick the obscure ones because if I pick the well-known ones, I'll get dinged by Spotify because, so I had to find tracks that I was, fairly certain were not on Spotify. So we'll find out if anything gets clicked or whatever. But anyway, the point is that, the both the podcast and the video are out, so go check them out.
I'm really enjoying listening to the two of you talk about Muppets. It's like two people who love a thing talking about a thing. It's great.
Yes. And by coincidence, well, not coincidence, what am I talking about? It ended up being the longest episode of my podcast so far by about 16 or 17 seconds. But, the previous record holder was, one of the Tony Goldmark episodes. But, a 6-minute chunk of this episode is clips from Tony's podcast with Zach Hurst. That will make sense when you listen to the episode of why I would include that. So it's because of Tony it got pushed that much farther. Plus the fact that I put about twice as much comedy music in it as I usually do, just because I'm like, well, it's the Muppets, I'm gonna go crazy. So, but anyway, still, it's super fun.
Yep, I'm not done listening yet, but I think about a third of the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, tour dates. Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. The last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. On the 1st in New York, David W. Jacobson. The 1st and 2nd in Sacramento, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 2nd in Brooklyn, New York, Carla Ulbrich. On the 3rd online via Zoom, Carla Ulbrich. On the 6th in Sandwich, Massachusetts, Drew Jacobs, and on the 7th in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. And birthdays today, April 30th, Joe J. Thomas. Happy birthday, Joe. All right. Second song of the week, the new one by the Consortium of Genius, followed by a pre-recorded interview. Here is The Peculiar Parable of Pete Paramecium and Pauline Protozoa.
Well, I'm a proud papa of a Paramecium named Pete. Took my boy to the pizza parlor, get him something to eat. Yeah, he stared at the pizza with what passes for an eye and said, Dad, I can't hold this in my cellier, but I'm still a proud papa of a Paramecium named Pete. My lab partner Polly has a protozoa named Pauline. She left her in a pocket, took a trip through the washing machine. Well, she started to expand and it was getting hypertonic, but it turned out okay, cause it was just isomotic. Yeah, she's the proud parent of a protozoa named Pauline. Well, these single-cell critters have the biggest hearts around, and it's not a massive secret just where they can be found. If you wanna be adopting one, begin by looking down, cause they found in filthy water puddles all over town. Named Pete. Took the pal parachuting, you know it started so neat. Then my boy started shaking and throwing a fit. Said he was getting nervous and he had to split. Now I'm the proud papa of 2 Parameciums. I'm the proud papa of 2 Parameciums. I'm the proud papa of 2 Parameciums named Pete. Another cytostome to feed.
I am here with the Consortium of Genius. Welcome back, guys.
How are you doing? Hello there. Thank you for being with us for this excellent lesson.
I thoroughly enjoy your lessons whenever I have the chance to attend them.
Oh, you'd better. You'd better.
That's what it should.
Yes.
Indeed. So tell us about the peculiar parable of Pete Paramecium and Pauline Protozoa.
Well, when you adopt a Paramecium, it doesn't take a whole lot to feed them. We learned that. Also, they're very easy to step on, so it's a good thing there's a lot of them so that, you know, if you accidentally mess up and squish one of your little pets, you can always get a couple of thousand more.
And sometimes if you agitate them too much, they do that on their own.
Right.
Now, is there a
detailed in the
special
song.
place you have to go to adopt a Paramecium? Is there like a special adoption
lab.
agency?
No, it's all in the song. You can pick them up from any water puddle on the ground. You know, the filthier the better.
Gotcha.
They're swarming in there at any given moment of the day.
So you don't need a special license or clearance from the state or anything. Just puddle of water and you're good?
Yeah. Just make sure they don't get eaten. That's the biggest problem we've found.
Yeah, they're not very high on the food chain.
They're not delicious either. I tried.
I can see that. So you named yours Pete. Is that correct?
It could have been any name. You know, you have to differentiate one from the other. They all look about the same.
Well, that's what I was going to ask because you said when Pete divided and now you have two Petes. I assume Pete's going to continue to divide. Are they all going to be Pete?
Well, no, we named the second one Repeat.
Ah, okay. And then you could do three Pete.
Yes.
Beyond that, what are your ideas? Because I mean,
Well, telling them apart means you have to learn the parts of the cell. Dr. Z, take a look at this. Now then, you've got the cilia arranged around the edge. You've got the cytosome, which I mentioned in the song. You've got the macronucleus right there, and the cytoplasm. Always fun. Are you taking all this down?
I'm getting it all.
You're not taking this very seriously, I can tell.
No, I am. Is that a picture of Pete, or is that another Paramecium?
It's kind of generic, isn't it?
It is.
Well, this is an illustration. This is not an actual photograph.
I'd love to see a picture of Pete as like, you know, the high school senior portraits where they do with the background with like this. Can you do
Have you
something
got
like that?
a microscope handy?
But he has no arms to be able to do that with his
He's
hands.
got cilia.
You got the cilia. You can do it. You can do
Yeah,
multiples.
but he can't do that with the cilia. That doesn't work.
No, it's
have you asked
detailed
him?
in the song.
I mean, maybe he can. He's a talented Paramecium, I'm sure.
Not really. No, they're pretty inept at everything.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not then.
Even Bad Beth couldn't properly raise a Paramecium and teach it tricks or anything like that.
Nah.
If she were here.
Of course. So, but
Not that we would let her into the lab, because every time we do, something gets dumped over or wrecked.
that could get messy and expensive, I imagine.
Yes, it's very expensive having Bad Beth as your neighbor.
Yes, almost as bad as having Filbert in the lab.
It's
already.
much worse, mark my words.
Bad Beth and
Filbert's only
Filbert
burned the
together.
lab down
That's
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying. You can't expect that out of Bad Beth.
No, she tries. Yes, I understand.
Yeah. She is
So
very-
in the song,
very
you
trying.
also mention Polly got a protozoa.
Right?
That also come from the same puddle of water?
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. They both came from the same muddy water.
Okay. I get the feeling you're covering for something, but okay, we'll just go for that.
We don't have to talk about what the lab was doing with that water.
No. We weren't trying to poison the water supply or anything like that. No.
Understood. Gotcha. So, what's the difference between a protozoa and a paramecium? I assume they're different species, but like
About 25 cents, honestly.
okay.
And then there's amoebas, all that other stuff.
Now, are these the brain-eating amoebas?
Now that's something that we need to step up the work on, Dr. Z.
Yeah, but not people really snort water when they're taking a shower anymore. So I don't know what.
Well, we haven't run out of brains yet. Keep feeding them, and they might grow bigger.
That's true.
Yes. They're very hard to see.
I can imagine. So, with this song, was the purpose of this song to educate people about Paramecium, or was this part of like some bigger plan that's coming along?
Actually, it's to browbeat them for not knowing about science. I started researching into midi-chlorians, those tiny microorganisms that connect to keyboards and relay messages back and forth.
And it has nothing to do with children's educational programs.
No. None of this is educational, but there will be a test.
Oh, I'm probably going to fail that. It's been a long time since I've taken a science class.
Oh, we'll make sure that you fail that.
Yeah, that's going to be painful, I'm sure.
Crank the pain up a little bit.
So what are the standardized tests, Scantron, like number 2 pencil type situation, or do I have to write essays? Because
No, we require number 3 pencil.
Oh, number 3
Good
pencil.
luck with that, buddy.
Those are super dark. I might have one in my art kit. I think a number 3 is about a 6B, so I think I can do that.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So you come to
Good
the
and
artist
hard.
when you want pencils, different hardness of pencils. That I can do.
Lots of carbon in that.
I thought we weren't talking about sex on this interview.
Silence, Dr. Z.
It all comes back around. It's just parameciums dividing protozoa. It's when a paramecium loves a protozoa, you get boom. I assume.
Ooze.
Yeah, you get a lot of ooze. It's disgusting and disturbing, and you might want to crank back the magnification factor for that one.
So it's like a Mentos and Diet Coke situation.
Yeah. Ooh. Have we tried that on the Paramecium?
I don't think that they would like that too much.
No. We like to torture those little microorganisms.
That sounds like fun. Good, wholesome, good time. So
evil times. Evil.
Of course.
All the time.
My bad.
Yes.
So
My bad.
when is
You're
the next Escape from the Secret Lab?
Ah, yes. Escape. Yes. We are coming back this season with a little time travel exercise. May the 24th, I believe, is when we re-debut for this year.
EscapeFromTheSecretLab.com.
That's right. Keep your eye on that website. More will be revealed shortly. But we're going to be torturing bands by yanking them out of time and abandoning them in the most inconvenient times possible.
So you're going to take it like a heavy metal band and send them back in time to when there's no electricity and they can't play?
Ooh, I see you've been thinking of evil too, haven't you?
I have my moments. Yes,
Yes, we're going to have to enlist your services and think of more evil that you can do.
I'm all for it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Oh, so do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, did you leave it unplugged or plugged?
I left it unplugged. Because
All right.
the caps get too energized. They don't like that.
Consortiumofgenius.com. Always go there first to see what we're about. And then, of course, escapefromthesecretlab.com.
And of course, the Paramecium song that he's playing, right? Or did he already play it? Or
Already played it. Yep.
Oh, well.
And
So
if
they
you
already
like
know about that.
Paramecium, you might want to check out Paramecium Comics by the Amoeba Sisters.
Oh, interesting. I'll take
Yeah, it's
I'll
just
take a
as
look
funny
at that.
as our song.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you for joining us. Best of luck with Escape from the Secret Lab. That's always a good time.
Luck has nothing to do with it. Mark my words, we shall destroy music history.
Sounds like fun.
Yes.
Fun for me.
Okay. We'll be seeing you.
Thank you.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, Dr. Pinkerton, why didn't you lock down your time door before it was invaded by the Orange Plague? And I forgot to forward this question to him, sorry. Devo, I saw this for an acting job in a horror movie and it said Devo would want to try. And it's a link to an Instagram page, which I haven't had a chance to check out yet, but thank you. I will definitely take it a look. Also, for your Friday playlist, what about the history of sudden death / Devo Spice for your anniversary? I will definitely do that, but not this week, maybe next week. Luke, I thought you loved your job, or is it a strongly disagree? Me and my friends did the CDSW group battle and discovered the power salad tile attack. Later all, and insert the secret phrase. Thank you, Draconis. And...
Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, you're testing my ADD.
Eclectic Lee wrote, "Oh, good. I like it when Devo has to make notes and not me." Yes, I try not to make more work for you, Lee, as much as possible. And... Alvarant wrote, "Devo, since the Funny Music Friday playlist was so long, would you consider leaving it up another week?" Yeah, I'll do that. That's why. And then next week I'll do the sudden death history, Devo Spice history.
What was that list?
Last week's list. What was that list? Crap, I forgot. It was attendees at Dr. Demento's party.
Oh, okay.
If you had to make a playlist of funny Ailstorm songs, which would you choose? I would pick Killed to Death by Piracy, Party, Mexico, Fanny Baws, mostly due to the videos, Mountains of the Deep, The Last Saskatchewan Pirate, Fucked with an Anchor for Dogs, Chomp Chomp, Shitboat, Big Ship, Little Ship, and more if time is needed. Treasure Chest Party Quest, Land Ho 2. I know they're not all comedy focused, but they all have parts that make people laugh. So, interesting coincidence. If you listen to The Insider this month, all 5 songs are Ailstorm songs. I decided to do my 5 favorite funny Ailstorm songs. The only one I omitted was Fucked with an Anchor because I'd already played that one on a previous episode. So I have 5 other funny Ailstorm songs. Mountains of the Deep is on there. Party is on there. Shitboat is on there. Last Saskatchewan Pirate, and I forget what and Cock. But and I tell the whole story of Cock. So there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. All right. And over on YouTube, Hamner Hack wrote, "Happy anniversary, Devo. Looking forward to another 40. Thank you. Me too." And...
A-Log! Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, "Man, I wish I was with you guys at Dr. D's party. I would have been with a who's who of demented acts over the years. Probably new ideas for my show. But then again, I have my own job. It's kind of like that scene in Carrie 2 The Rage, where all hell breaks loose, and the ones that didn't go were watching from afar and went, man, we missed one hell of a party. That would have been me and Ben at that moment. But still, I too will give my thanks to the doc for making me the demented DJ that I am, and I'm still proud to have 2 of my break-in hits, the Funny 25 for 2016 and 2017, respectively. And come to think of it, Devo, your song Yo Sam holds a distinction. It began the Funny 25 of 2023 at number 25, and yet it was number 1 on my whacked out 40 that year. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Thank you, A-Log. Control Z27 wrote, "The accordion one by his ear is Kenneth Gunlip. Guinup. I don't know how to pronounce that name. But yes, somebody figured that out. I don't remember if it was on the show last week or afterwards. But somebody figured that out and I forwarded it to Spaff, so thank you. And one more. Jeffrey Evans 6828 wrote, "Been listening through the podcast feed for a while. Suggestions for a specialty album. It should start off with a supercut chronicling Luke's journey with USPS. I doubt I'm the only one that thinks the album should be titled Strongly Disagree." Thank you, Jeffrey. All right, that's it for feedback.
Yeah, I just I mean, I'm allowing myself the freedom of changing my mind later, but I just, many of the songs I make are about things that I like, because if I'm going to be singing them over and over again, it's like I'm singing about a thing I like. It's like I hate this job so much, I just don't know if I want to commit it to song and then have it be a thing I'd have to listen to or perform or have to relive, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
It's like Lyft I liked enough that I could do driving for Lyft. It was fine. So, is the camera on me properly right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not
good,
now because I started talking, but it was before.
Well, no, I'm going to start talking just so that I can show you, like, look, there's a guy. Oh, he's just taking a nap. He's just chilling with his little waggy tail. So there we go. Yeah. Oh, I did, one thing I could say about my job that, so this 9-day stretch, day 5, so the halfway point between there, for the first time I got, called up to be a person operating a forklift.
Ooh.
So I spent the entire 8-hour day being a forklift driver. And if I was doing that every day, this job could be tolerable. But due to seniority and how all of that crap works, it's probably going to be a very few and far between thing of me getting to do that on a regular basis, because in order to do that on a regular basis the way things are now, a bunch of people either have to retire or quit or get fired or die in order for me to move up the seniority list to be somebody that would be regularly asked to do that. So
yeah,
there's also a possibility that I could put in a bid to work in a different part of the facility that would involve doing that a lot more. So I'm going to look into that, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that before I've been there for a full year. So, and in the meantime, I intend to look for other jobs. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right, let's do some teasing.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job. Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Bad Beth and Beyond. And Tuesday's song is by Insane Ian. And the Spotify playlist topic, as we said, I'm going to keep last week's up for another week. So it'll still be the people who were at Dr. Demento's event. All right. You were going to say something?
Oh, no, sorry.
All right. Well, in that case, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. And there was Josh and also a bunch of scientists.
There were.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I'm Slim Cherry, the real Slim Cherry. All those other Slim Cherries are far too hairy. Or something.